Hello and welcome to the Prepare to Compete podcast, where we talk all things veteran disability benefits, real estate, entrepreneurship, and more. Kenneth Davis, how you feeling today, my brother?
Oh man, I'm feeling wonderful. Feeling blessed. Able to still breathe the San Diego air. Feeling a little bit better than yesterday. How about yourself?
Absolutely, man. Feeling great, man. I wish the weather in Las Vegas was the same as San Diego, but you can't always ask for perfection.
Hey, listen, man. Hey, it's coming around the corner. You got May, right? You got May, June. Don't get cooked out there, but I think it'll be sufficient for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Vegas, we got a real short window where the weather is, semi perfect, maybe mid 80s. And after that, it's a heat wave all summer.
Shorts every day.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Nice, nice.
But yeah, man, today I'm representing, man, Veterans for Veterans. I officially got my Rockefeller chain,
Yeah.
man.
I like the merch. I like the merch. It looks nice on you. Sponsor. Hey, sponsorship. Adidas, give us a call. We like it.
Absolutely.
We
Absolutely,
like
man.
it.
But no, man, we've been doing some really great things. We got a lot of great updates. I know we had some time off from recording. We actually
Mhm.
attended a veterans conference out there in Texas, man, in Dallas, Texas. Tell the people a
Yeah.
little bit about that.
Oh man, we were actually able to be blessed and be invited and attend the IVMF, conference that Syracuse hosts, and that's actually sponsored by JP Morgan and Chase, which was a lot of phenomenal veterans that actually are doing some phenomenal things in the communities, but not only doing phenomenal things in the communities, but in the business world as well. So we were able to connect and actually reach out and touch the people. So it was just such an amazing time, and I think we're going to obviously put that in our annual trip basis and conference basis because it's just so many wonderful people that you can connect with. So again, thank you guys at the IVMF. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. And you know what? It definitely really inspired me for sure. Just being there, seeing all the veteran business owners and really kind of connect to the purpose of this podcast, right? Because not only are we talking veteran disability benefits, real estate, but we're also talking entrepreneurship. And when we're talking about entrepreneurship, we're focusing specifically on the veterans. So it was very refreshing to see so many veteran business owners and kind of learn about what they're doing in their different industries and to be able to actually take some of that business knowledge and give it to the people in the form of this podcast.
Yeah, no, true indeed. And I actually, man, when I tell you I was a sponge, I was able to soak up so much knowledge, so much positive energy, just so much that I'm gonna be able to give back to the people. Because at the end of the day, that right there, that synergy, being in that space, it kind of revitalizes you, and it gives you the opportunity of why you're here. At the end of the day, we're here to serve. So by being able to be in that space, that synergy was able to get redeployed and going to be energized to you guys.
Absolutely, man. We're prepared to compete, man, and we definitely
Yes,
making
sir.
sure from that experience. And today, what we're going to be focusing on actually is a lot of new developments, man. We got some breaking news for you guys in the veteran disability space and also in the real estate space for veterans as far as how it impacts your VA loans. So really excited to kind of bring this information to you and be one of the first ones to do so. And we want to also thank all of you guys for watching so far. We've been growing tremendously and we really kind of appreciate all the support. Again, reach down in
Hmm.
the comments, let us know where you're watching from and share any kind of stories or any messages that you have regarding your process with applying for your service connected disability benefits. And let's continue to be a resource for each other because we're not only talking at you guys. We want to develop a real community and kind of have these fluid conversations going back and forth, whether it's between us and yourself or just between you guys talking back and forth in the comments. So we definitely really appreciate all the support and the growth.
Yeah, most definitely. And just because we are benefit experts, right? But we don't know everything, right? Again, having the opportunity to be able to build with the community, this veteran community, it just really puts me in a great space. And ultimately, I had again someone, a subscriber, actually reach out to us and speaking about one of the states and some of their benefits. And one of the veterans mentioned that Arkansas, again, Arkansas provides such a large acreage of land, moving down there for 100% veterans. And I was like, man, let's connect. I just wanted to find out a little bit more about that. So that community there, again, building, it's just a building blocks for one another.
Absolutely, man. Thank you guys for that. Thank you for all that support. So yeah, with no further ado, man, we're gonna get into why you guys are here today to hear all of this breaking news of kind of what's going on in the space. And the first thing that we're
Hmm.
gonna actually talk about is the changes to the supplemental claims process. Now, what's going on here, Mr. Davis is definitely going to break it down. It's actually some groundbreaking and some revolutionary things that are happening here that's going to have a large impact on that process. So, first, Mr.
Hmm.
Davis, for those that may not understand the supplemental claim process, please give them like an intro of what it means to fill out a supplemental claim. And then also we can get right into talking about what changed so much and why this is going to be so groundbreaking for our veterans.
Most definitely, most definitely. Thank you. So when we're talking about a supplemental claim, typically the supplemental claim is a claim that has been previously denied, right? There was some revisions in regards to the name, the verbiage, right? They just changed the name from a reopen claim to a supplemental claim. So when that change happened, that supplemental claim is ultimately just a reopen denied claim. All right. So typically, when you are reopening a denied claim, you must have specific two things available in that reopen and denied claim, and that's new and material evidence. Okay, new and material evidence. It's very important that you have that. Okay, because typically, if you don't have that, the VA is actually able to administratively deny you just off the back. Okay, so you must have that. Okay, and that's whether if it was called a reopen and or called a supplemental claim. So either or, you want to make sure that you have that available. Okay, so and ultimately, as we go down the process to submit a reopened or supplemental claim, which is a claim for previously denied conditions, they go through the process, review your evidence, and once they review your evidence, they make a decision. Right? Typically, that decision could be granted or denied. Hopefully, it's denied. I mean, hopefully it's granted, right? But if it is denied, you can always give us a call here at Veterans. We'll be able to service you here. But if it's granted, typically they will be able to grant your service connected disability with an effective date of back to the date of claim. All right. And what the date of claim is that's the date that you're actually submitting your claim. Okay. I don't want that ever to get confused because there are some different type of avenues and on how that effective date could change, but we're going to focus on that scenario. Okay. So once you submit a supplemental claim, once it's granted from the date you have submitted that claim. Okay. So always keep that in the back of your mind. However, as of March 31st, 2023, so I want you guys to understand, again, drum roll, please. Hey, listen, what's happened is that a supplemental claim now can be actually processed, right? However, it does not need to only be processed from your date of claim. You can actually submit as something called an intent to file a year prior to your supplemental claim. And now an intent to file can be attached to your supplemental claim just as a normal new or increased claim that you submit. Okay. And that's amazing. And why I tell you it's amazing, because for veterans, typically it takes time for those veterans to be able to garner their evidence, to be able to prove, to get their case file on how they're going to be able to submit a new claim. So this right here, now you can submit an intent to file that's going to preserve your effective date all the way up to 365 days, a year's time frame. And now you're able to gather your evidence, make sure you have everything that you need, and then you can submit your claim. Okay. And you won't be penalized for that time. Typically, a lot of veterans were penalized before in the old process, before March 31st, right, of 2023. Many veterans were penalized. Okay. And when they were penalized, what it was, they were penalized by not receiving that pay from the intent to file. That was actually receiving the pay from the date that they submitted the claim. Okay. Ultimately, this is going to be able to help a lot more veterans to put a little bit more income in their pocket from their back pay, because they've been fighting for these benefits for so long and this entitlement for so long, right? It's actually going to get you what you deserve. Okay. So ultimately, this was an amazing win for veterans. And I think you guys need to really, really take heed to this and think about reopening some of the claims that you were previously denied for.
Okay, definitely, definitely. So, wow, man, wow, that's definitely kind of again groundbreaking, and definitely let's kind of
Yeah.
unpack it a little bit now, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah. I know that was a mouthful, right?
no, no, absolutely. No, no, you explained it pretty well. So I definitely kind of have it down packed. But yeah, let's make sure we all understand. So now when you submit an initial claim, you have your intent to file a date, and then you have a year to submit that claim. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have your intent to file and you have a year to submit that claim. Yes, sir.
Okay. So I guess why that's important is that when you put in that intent to file date, once your claim is submitted and then it's reviewed and hopefully granted, you are going to receive back pay up until that intent to file date, correct?
Yes, sir. So your effective date, okay, the date that you come into effect of pay would be from your intent to file date.
Absolutely. Okay. So yeah, so that works. So so let's say a veteran took, almost like the full year to file their claim, and then the VA takes a few months to review it. The veteran may receive a back pay of maybe 13, 14 months of payments, correct?
It could very well be so. Yes, I mean, because essentially, right? And again, these are averages that fluctuate. Okay, so when you're talking about a supplemental claim could take 4, 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
It could be even longer, 8 months, 9 months. It could be even longer, depending on the backlog, depending on the regional office, depending on who actually obtains your claim, depending on the evidence. It's so many different variations and factors, but it could take very well over a year. But as long as you have your intent to file submitted, you don't lose any time.
Okay.
You don't lose any time.
No, that's important to understand because when the veterans submitted their initial claim on the things that did get approved, they were getting that large back payment, right? From that intent to file date, that being their effective date, they were getting at those, large back pay payments. And I guess what it sounds like is that with the supplemental claims process, there was no intent to file date. So they only received back payment for the time between submission and approval, which let's say it
Yes,
was
sir.
only 4 months, right? Let's say
Yes, sir.
yeah, so they would only receive 4 months, but if they had an intent to file in, it took them 11 months to actually file, and then it took
Hmm.
4 months to render a decision. Now we have back payment for those 11 months plus those
Hmm.
4 months for the decision, for a total of 15 months of back payment. So that's
Yes, sir.
that's huge, man. That's very huge, right? Because
That-
yeah, it goes
Go ahead.
from getting 4 months of payments to 15 months in that particular scenario.
Yes, sir. Because you have to think about it like this, you guys. Just as you very well laid out, is that the timeline. Most veterans we have lives, right? So keeping up with these things is a little bit difficult at times. So it may take you 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12 on the last day to submit your supplemental claim, right? And when that happens, right? It still takes the VA sometimes to go ahead and submit that, go ahead and process the claim, because they have to review evidence, they have to go through everything, go through their processes, right? And once they go through their processes, guess what? Now you're able to go ahead and get your intent to file date. Get your intent to file date as your effective date, which could ultimately could be a larger back pay, could be a small back pay, but it could be back pay just in general if you're increased to a compensable rating. Okay, I don't want to put the expectation out there that everyone's going to get a back pay. You must have a compensable rating. Okay, so if you submit that claim, right, and it goes all the way back to your date of intent to file, at that point you'll be able to receive the back pay that you're warranted from that increase.
No, definitely. No, this is huge. This is huge too because
Yeah.
I've learned throughout kind of working through the process with veterans that oftentimes veterans you know they may get denied and they may wait like years to kind of refile their claim because they're just like, nah, I don't really have the motivation. So, I mean, this
Mhm.
here kind of clearly kind of gives some extra motivation to go ahead and kind of get the ball rolling on that process.
No, true indeed, true indeed. And you must, and that's the thing. As a veteran, and again, and I can't speak for all veterans. I can only speak for myself. Typically, again, once you're told no once, that door is closed. That door is closed, and I'm going to tell you why. Veterans, again, and I can't speak for all veterans, but I know some of my buddies and myself, as we go through our lives, and once we're told no, ultimately we want to overcome that objective ourselves. So when we're dealing with a federal agency such as the Department of Veterans Affairs, that's no climbing that hump typically, right? So they go on about their lives. All right, they're going on about their lives, but ultimately, it's ways that you can be able to receive service, and we want to be one of those outlets. But typically, when a veteran is told no, they typically shut that door. And we don't want that to be of a real issue here. So we want to be able to make sure that we're opening doors for you guys rather than shutting them. And this information and education is always going to be able to be held front and center. But again, this is a huge, huge win for veterans. I do want to highlight one specific point, though, right? Because I don't want all veterans thinking that if they submitted a supplemental claim in 2020, that it's going to go all the way back to 2020 if it hasn't been decided upon, right? So what happens is that the cutoff date is July 30th, 2021. Okay, July 30th, 2021. So anything thereafter, if there is an intent to file that is prior to a year, you're able to get that back pay from that if you're granted. Okay. But anything before that, okay, anything before that date of the July 2021, July 30th, 2021, it does not apply. It does not apply. All right. So I really want that those dates and times really matter. All right. And typically, again, this was fought by the Military Veterans Advocacy Group versus Department of Veterans Affairs, Secretary of Department of Veterans Affairs, and they won. And this was a huge win. So ultimately, with this judgment, a lot of veterans are going to be compensated for that time that they missed out on when gathering much of their evidence. Okay.
Absolutely. No, that's a good point, man. Going back into 2021. So now, do you kind of have like a practical example of how that would kind of look like as far as, so they're reviewing people that, filed claims or had an intent to file in going back into 2021? So do you have like a practical example of like what would that process look like, or who would potentially qualify for being recognized under this new provision and going back that far?
Yeah. So, to be very frank with you, I don't think there's going to be some type of push for the VA to look back that far in other claims that was submitted during that time frame. Again, it's so fresh and so new. I'm sure some of this regulation has not even been applied to the regional offices, right, or direction or anything of that nature. So what I would tell you is this: is that you look for yourself as a veteran first and foremost to see if that's going to be applied, because you need to check your rating decision. You need to check keep up to date with your times, dates, and also disabilities, because again, as a veteran, we have multiple disabilities that we deal with on a regular basis. So again, just as though we're keeping up with our finances, we need to keep up with our health, we need to keep up with our dates for our service connected disabilities. Okay. But with that being said, an example would be is a veteran who is actually receiving, let's say, a denial for a foot condition in July 2022. Okay. Or I'm sorry, not July, but July, let's say August 15th, 2021. Okay. However, prior to that, they submitted an intent to file. Okay. July, right? July. So with that intent to file, it's going to go all the way back. It's going to go back to the date of July 2021. Okay. So if you have a claims file, if you have a supplemental claim that you submitted in August 2022, however, you submitted an intent to file July 30th, 2021 or thereafter, your claim, your supplemental claim that was granted should go all the way back to that July 30th date. Okay, to that July 30th date. So that's a huge win. And there's going to be some veterans or is going to try to access this. And I want you guys to go ahead and make sure that you try to access this and make sure that you're utilizing the information that's provided. Okay, so this is a huge win, and I want you guys to understand that these intent to file dates are here to support you and your family. So make sure that you do not leave this on the table.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, because even though before this new provision here, intent to file dates weren't recognized for supplemental claims, but obviously when you go in to va.gov and you file a claim, you start that process, it automatically generates an intent to file date, although before it wasn't recognized for supplemental claims for back pay purposes, you always had that intent to file date once you kind of either filled out the physical form or went on to kind of start inputting that information on that va.gov account.
Yes, sir. Typically, that's how it was arranged. Before, like I said, earlier, it is a it was called a reopen claim. You will only reopen it if you had additional new and material evidence. So if you have new and material evidence, and it's very specific in what they discuss as material to be. Again, that's a later video. We'll go ahead and break that down into detail. But if you had that afforded to you, what's going to happen is that they're just going to open the claim from the date that you submit that claim. There are other caveats amongst that I don't want to get into, because I don't want to make this an elongated discussion in regards to effective dates. But it would start from that date that you submitted the claim.
Absolutely.
That's when it would
That
start.
that that works. That works. And yeah, I mean, and that's kind of ground zero on where you want to start with your research and kind of start going into looking at that process. If you submitted a reopen claim or if it was called a supplemental by the time you did that, then hey, you can go in, look at when you started that process of an intent to file, and the VA could possibly owe you some money.
Yeah, I mean, you fought for it. You guys fought for the country, right? These are the laws and regulations and updated directives that a lot of times that aren't explained, that a lot of times that aren't put out on the forefront. That's going to actually give you the information for you and your family to support your family, because you fought for this country, and now you're dealing with disabilities from that time frame. At this point, you're afforded these benefits. Okay, because it is a benefit for you. All right.
Absolutely. So now, if they wanted to learn more about this process, I know it's so very new. Could they find
Mhm.
any information online? Would they be able to contact anyone if they wanted some more information about this, or even if it's like, hey, man, you're right, it is time for me to reopen my claim and submit a supplemental claim. Would they be able to get any kind of guidance on doing that?
Yeah, most definitely. One place I do know is that you can actually give us a call down at Veterans for Veterans. We'll definitely provide you the information of this robust change. We want to make sure that you have everything that you need and be able to support you. Okay, but for any other outlets, I'm not 100% sure because it's so new, right? It's so new. Again, it just got deployed. So with that deployment, we want to be able to support you, at least being able to answer basic questions for you.
Absolutely, yeah. And again, this is why this is breaking news, man. As soon as Kenneth found out the information, he was very excited that we get here and kind of get this recorded and get this right out to you, because this is so important. And when you're talking about intent to file dates and effective dates and that sort of thing, every single day matters, right? And we don't want to lose any time getting this information to the veterans. So this is why we're here for you, bringing this breaking news update and actually publishing this out of order of some of the other content. And I think we're going to start making a habit of this, man. Any breaking news, we really want to start giving that to you guys so that you kind of understand what's going on and you could be able to hear the information, from us as experts in the space, to be able to communicate that to you.
And also, if you guys have any topics or anything that you would love to touch on, or even ask some questions down below in the comments, we'll definitely reach out to you, definitely respond to you. You can always reach out to us, and we'll contact you as well.
Absolutely. So yeah, definitely, man. Really appreciate you, Kenneth, on giving this breaking news update. This is going to be very important for the veteran community. If you guys have any questions, comments, like you said, reach down in the comments, leave a comment. Our contact information is down here as well, as far as social media and websites that you can get some other basic information or reach out to actually schedule a consultation if you did want to kind of hire a claims expert for the services of helping you with your supplemental claim, or even if you haven't filed a claim yet and you're just watching this to learn more about the process, we also handle initial claims as well.
Yeah, we would definitely love to give you some assistance in every area. Ultimately, worst case scenario, we just want to provide you education. That's it. That's what we're here
Absolutely.
for.
Absolutely, man. Well, Kenneth, again, thanks again. We got some more breaking news for you on the real estate side of that. So we'll get into that in just a moment. But again, thanks for watching. We'll catch you soon. Peace.
We're out.
Welcome back to the Prepare to Compete podcast. And now we're here with the real estate segment of the breaking news of today. And guess
Yes,
what?
sir. Yes, sir.
Today, if you're watching this on the first day that we posted it, it's going to be the first day that this is actually available. Okay, so what just happened and just passed is that the VA loan funding fee is actually just been reduced. Okay, so it's been reduced. So what's able to happen is that veterans are able to save more money on their home purchase. So the VA loan is already such a powerful loan product, pretty much one of the most, if not the best loan product anybody can use. And, us non-veterans are real envious of that, but veterans deserve it because you guys serve this country. You definitely deserve to own a home, and you deserve to own multiple homes, because what some people actually don't understand, and we'll get into it when we're talking about the funding fee, is that you can actually utilize that VA loan more than once. But yeah, we're going to get into talking about the changes with that. So Kenneth, man, yeah, I'm gonna give him some game today. We're gonna definitely drop some gems on the real estate side of today.
Man, as you should, because I'll tell you one thing. This is one of those mystical, encrypted information boxes in regards to the VA home loan, because a lot of people don't know too much about it. And there's always a lot of deployed information that is just not true out there, but also there's a lot of information that is true. So we want to kind of navigate that and get navigate that through the weeds and actually get to the real nitty gritty of things. So awesome.
Absolutely. So, April 7th, 2023, the funding fee has been reduced. Now, the funding fee, what a VA funding fee is that it is a charge that goes typically on the back of the loan, okay? On the back of a loan for the purchase of real estate, or even if you're refinancing, sometimes you can be charged that funding fee as well. And that funding fee was 2.3% of the value of that loan. Okay. So again, if we continue to use simple numbers, if you had a loan for $100,000, you'll be charged an additional $2,300 for a funding fee of that loan. So again, I mean, it may not come out of the pocket of the veteran as far as the down payment, but it is added to that loan. You are financing that loan. And what happens when you're financing over 30 years, right? And you stay in that home, that $2,300 from this example that I'm using ends up can be $10,000 added to the cost because you are financing. So it's very important if we could lower that funding fee or get that funding fee totally removed, that we're able to do so. So the funding fee for initial purchases, okay, for initial purchases, it went down to 2.15%. Okay, so that 2.3, it went down to 2.15%. Now, and Kenneth, it's very important that they know that that's for initial purchase if they're putting less than 5% down. Because, oftentimes, veterans talk about, that dollar down for a home, or, just zero down now, because that's really what it is that if you're not putting any down payment, is that's when you pay the highest version of the funding fee, which used to be 2.3% of that loan value. Now it's going to be 2.15% of the loan value. So again, if you're in San Diego like Kenneth and you might be purchasing a house that costs $1 million, that 2.3% could have been a lot, right? So now it's 2.15. So that's saving you thousands of dollars there.
Yeah, and I know there's a lot of different veterans who's a little a little screw face today, seeing this this funding fee being reduced because it is only 1.5%, right? When we talk about but in the grand scheme of things, as you pointed out, you're financing this cost. Okay, so for over 30 years, it's going to continuously to drag along with you. And definitely when you're talking about refinancing, right? So now you're refinancing that same amount over and over again. So it could be thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. So by being reduced, again, you're going to save yourself a little bit of extra money in your pocket. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but it is when you're living in a state of California. And we have many veterans. We have over 1 million veterans here just in the state of California alone. So when we're talking about that specifically is going to help you guys because a home that can cost $700,000, which again it could be the median on average here in San Diego, right? So with that, that is going to save you thousands of dollars, right? When we're talking about the funding fee when it's coming from 2.3% down to 2.15, that can ultimately save you $1,000 over a lifetime or over the life of the loan.
Over the life of the loan, right? And that's kind of what you want to start thinking about, and thinking about it from that standpoint. And also, if you already own your home and you were just looking to maybe do a cash out refinance, this impacts you as well because you were being charged the funding fee for that as well. So it reduced to that same amount, the 2.15. And now, if you are putting down 10% or more on that initial purchase, right? Which, a lot of people don't, but let's say you were doing that, that funding fee is now 1.25%. So they did make some changes because basically the ultimate goal, I think what they had here was to reduce the cost for first time buyers and veterans that are looking to get a cash out refinance. So if you're looking to take advantage of the equity that you accumulated in your home in the last couple of years, that's going to be a little bit more affordable to you. However, if you're doing a subsequent purchase now, so meaning you are using a VA loan for the second time and getting a second VA loan, because again, you can use the VA loan more than once and you can't have more than one VA loan out at a time. Okay, so if you were getting a second VA loan while you still have your first VA loan active, that funding fee is 3.3%, and they did not reduce that. So that's going to remain at 3.3% for that.
Mm,
And then they have some different things if you're putting some down payment with that, where they'll it goes down from that 3.3%. But here with us with Veterans for Veterans, we try to ensure that you don't even have to worry about paying a funding fee, right? Because there are some different things that if you are service connected, that Kenneth could kind of get into, that funding fee is actually waived. So if you are service connected, this may not even apply to you. So Kenneth, can you tell them a little bit about how that service connection helps them in relation to that funding fee?
yeah, so thank you. Yeah, most definitely. So when you're talking about the funding fee, right? This funding fee is something that is applied to that home loan, as Mr. Jones has mentioned. But however, there's a clause or a caveat there when we're talking about that VA home loan funding fee. So what it is if you're a service connected compensable rating, have a compensable rating of 10% or more, at that point you're going to be able to be totally exempt from paying the funding fee. So now at that point you don't have any funding fee. So that's a huge benefit for you, right? You don't want to pay a funding fee if you don't have to. And I can assure you, again, every veteran is dealing with some issue that could have possibly stemmed from the military. We want to be able to uncover that so we can be able to make sure that you don't pay this funding fee ultimately, whether if it's 2.3%, 2.5%, 3.6%, 3.3%, whatever it is, we want to remove it all. Okay. But for those who have actually are still currently active duty or getting into your homes or anything of that nature, this is something that applies to you. So they're actually reducing it. So it's going to be something that you might want to take in consideration when purchasing a home. Just one checkbox that you actually got to think about as well.
Absolutely, yeah. And I mean, and some people were thinking about waiting on purchasing a home. I feel like because it's less competitive, and actually another thing that's really happening this April is we're seeing the interest rates as a whole kind of go down. They kind of peaked in the 7.5 and up kind of percentage there, and now they're getting down under 6%. So again, it could change every day depending on when you're watching this video. We're recording it in April of 2023, but right now, if you're watching this currently in real time, those interest rates have just decreased, as well as you have this advantage for the funding fee, and because there's not a lot of buyers in the market, you're actually able to get your offers accepted with the VA loan. And not only that, you can use a lot more creative strategies to have the seller pay all of your closing costs and do different things with getting repairs paid for the home, and even different opportunities where they actually even remodel the home for you. So again, there's a lot of information and tools out there for you. Here at Veterans for Veterans, we actually started an entire real estate division, okay, dedicated and committed to serving veterans and really understanding the needs and the impacts that veterans have when they're purchasing a home, refinancing a home, and different things like that. And even though we are based in San Diego, California, we have realtor partners all over. So, I am in Las Vegas, Kenneth is in San Diego. We definitely have major hubs there, but we have realtor partners throughout the country. So if you are somewhere else, Florida, Texas, wherever, we have realtors and loan officers that are qualified and know what you're dealing with and know how to serve you as a veteran. So definitely reach out. We have some information there in the description there where you could actually reach out to myself. We'll set up a consultation, kind of see what's going on with you, and be able to get you well taken care of, regardless of whether you're in California or Nevada. And even if you're in like a small city and we don't have a partner there, we're still going to have that consultation with you and get equip you with as many tools as we possibly can to make sure your needs are serviced.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And again, again, it's always a pleasure, Mr. Jones. You're always providing the correct information, and not only accurate information, but information that's going to impact everyone, right? So, at the end of the day, regardless of anything, our service here is to educate and to be one that's a part of you guys, and also to ultimately to be here with the community. So, thank you guys so much. Again, thank you again, Kayvon, for providing such high level veteran home loan information, and we're excited to see a lot more of your videos and also topics in regards to real estate.
Absolutely. Thanks for that, Kenneth. And yeah. So we'll get it closed out for today. Thank you guys for watching. Again, if you have any kind of topic ideas, whether it's on the veteran disability space, whether it's on real estate, or even anything in veteran entrepreneurship, something that we learned from the conference that we attended is that, there's about 250,000 veterans discharging every year from service, right? And a lot of those veterans want to start businesses, but they don't do so right away. So we want to make sure if you're thinking about starting a business, you do that and you start kind of getting your footsteps started as soon as possible. Okay, and we're here to help and support you there. We're business owners and that sort of thing, and we're ingrained in the veteran space, and we'll like to even help you with any questions that you have regarding your entrepreneurship journey as well. So again, anything benefits, real estate, entrepreneurship, send those questions and topic ideas our way. We'll love to help you. Kenneth, did you have any closing thoughts for him?
Oh man, the only closing thoughts I can actually provide is ultimately, we are coming around here in 2023, around the summer. So for most veterans, that is playtime. So let's go ahead and stay safe and stay active throughout our time frame. So with that, again, please, we're here to serve you and educate. So provide a contact, which is below. Give us a call.
Absolutely. Thanks for watching again. Watch all of the videos. We created some wonderful playlists for you guys. Definitely continue to support the community. We greatly appreciate it and continue to prepare to compete. We out. Peace.
Yes, sir.